of Open and Distance Education in Asia. Good Practices from AAOU Members. This book was collaboratively written by 8 members of AAOU. Korea National Open University. Open University Malaysia. Sukhothai Thammasat Open University. The Open University of China. The Open University of Japan. The Open University of Sri Lanka. University of the Philippines Open University. And Universitas Terbuka.
The Asian community has long placed a high value on education. Education has always been seen as the catalyst for social welfare, upward social mobility, as well as human well-being. And nowadays, Asia has emerged as the major distance education providers as well as beneficiaries.
Dear colleagues, this book of Open and Distance Education or ODE in Asia is an important contribution from AAOU members and dedicated to the global ODA field. It will be continued in subsequent series and is anticipated to enrich references to ODE practices.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Recording in progress.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning. Selamat pagi. A very warm welcome from the AAOU Secretariat from Universitas Terbuka here in Jakarta. We are glad and we are very happy to meet you, to all, the speakers, the moderator, and president of the AAOU. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would like to welcome you all to the 5th AAOU Lecture Series 2024, a roadmap to successful publication. Today, method, I am sure that this program will be very beneficial for you who is currently doing research or anyone who is very early stage of doing research. As the continuation of the previous program, I would like to remind you that you can rewatch this program on YouTube, on UTTV. Please, if you are not able to watch or you miss some points of the presentation from the speakers, please visit the Universitas Terbuka TV. Esteemed President of the AAOU, Professor Ojat Darojat, and speakers, moderators, once again from very early morning here in Jakarta, we hope we will bring you a very insightful knowledge. And without further ado, I would like to invite the President of the AAOU, and also the Rector of Universitas Terbuka, Professor Ojat Darojat, MBus PhD, to deliver a warming welcome. Professor Ojat, the screen and mic is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Rahmat. Everyone, hello. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fifth episode of AAOU Lecture Series 2024. It has been almost half a year since we started the first episode of AAOU Lecture Series, and I feel so grateful for the enthusiastic atmosphere each one of you has shared in our lecture room. We have received positive feedback from all of you, our dearest audience, all along our program, and they have helped us improving ourselves in providing far better platform to learn for everyone. AAOU, as always, aims to share and provide unlimited insight and knowledge in the educational context, particularly in open and distance learning. The lecture series is exceptionally beneficial for university students, both who are starting to get familiar with writing academic papers, or those who are still unsure about its essence. So we are now stepping our footprint on the discussion on research methods. The last episode, we learned about quantitative research methods. And today, we will be diving through another research method that is qualitative research methods. In this topic, we will explore the fundamentals of qualitative research, its applications in real-world scenarios, and the nuanced approaches that can uncover great insight. I know maybe some of you already know that qualitative research offers us a way where we can deeply understand human experiences, behavior, and interactions. And today, we have the privilege of delving how these methods can enrich our understanding across various disciplines through these beautiful keynote speakers we have invited today. So please welcome the first beautiful expert from Turkey, Professor Dr. Gülsün Kurubacak from Anadolu University. Good morning, Professor Gülsün, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
It is my honor. Thank you.
Most welcome. I just remember when I met you a long time ago when I have a study visit to Anadolu.
Yes.
I think I still have your phone number. There are almost many 55, right? Yeah,
Yes.
at the end of the number. And also, please, my welcome to my warmest regard for Mr. Professor Fuad, your presidents.
Yes.
So I'm pleased to meet you this morning, and hopefully it is not too early for you there. And as I know, we have 4 hours time gap, Jakarta and Anadolu. Next, please welcome the second beautiful expert, Dr. Saw Fen from Wawasan Open University. Hello, Dr. Tan. How are you?
Hi, Prof. Ojat.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation. It's my honor to be able to share my experience.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
We also thank you for accepting our invitations. This very nice session for us today. And the last beautiful lady we have here, the one who's going to be in charge to make sure everything runs on track. Please welcome Miss Dinithi Uthpala Ranasinghe from the Open University of Sri Lanka, or USL.
Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
Miss Dinithi. Oh, thank
Nice
you.
to see you all.
Yeah, thank you for accepting our invitation today. There is a participant never miss any moment. You can access to understanding new knowledge, and this is a great opportunity to gain and enhance your understanding of qualitative research methods. And I hope you all find inspiration and practical insight that will resonate long to your needs after today's session concludes. And thank you very much. Please enjoy the lecture. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I just realized that the speakers and also the moderators are all superpower women. Thank you very much. I just realized. Thank you, Mr. President. Now, before we move on to the main agenda, I would like to introduce our moderator today, a linguist, just like me, a linguist, Dr. Dinithi Uthpala Ranasinghe. Please, if I make a mistake pronouncing your name, please forgive me. And
That's
then,
okay, no problem.
and then Miss Dinithi, Dr. Dinithi has a quite long name, but it is beautiful. I would like to try to read your full name. Dr. Wijaya Sundara Ranasinghe Pabalue Monotalalage Dinithi Uthpala. Very beautiful.
It's too long, actually. It's very difficult to pronounce
Okay.
it, I know.
Okay, and that
Don't worry, just think Dinithi.
Dr. Dinithi from
Sorry,
the,
it's not doctor, right?
okay,
Just-
sorry,
just
Miss,
call me Dinithi.
okay, Miss Dinithi earned from the CPI earned 2 master's degree. The first one is MA in Sinhala with the merit pass from the University of Kelania in 2018, and then also MA in linguistics from the University of Kelania 2014. She earned BA in Sinhala, first class honors from University of Colombo. From the CV, we know that Ms. Dinithi is a very active lectures, and then also a very high quality in producing academic papers. Let me read some of the most outstanding. The first one is award prizes. The first one in 2000, the latest one is 2021, Sattawa Literary Awards for the best poetry criticism in the year 2021. And then Professor Tilak Hettiarachi Gold Medal for the most outstanding student. I would like to underline the most outstanding student from the University of Colombo 2014. Kala Busana Donu Devinda Mohoti Memorial Gold Medal. Once again, the gold medal for the best dissertation. The best dissertation in Sinhala from University of Colombo. And then also Ediri Wira Sara Chandra Literary Award for the best poetic collection organized by the University of Paradenia 2018. Here from the CV, the awards and prizes are more than 1 pages. So it indicated that our moderator today is a very outstanding person. Next to the publications from the CP, we learned that Miss Dinithi is quite active in attending the AAOU conference. I would like to thank you very much. Your participation in the AAOU brings a lot of impacts. And for example, in 2023, presented online during the AAOU conference, the title, The Impact of Interaction on Achieving Intended Learning Outcomes in an Online Teaching Learning Context. And the previous year, in the previous year, behavioral study on the change of learning patterns due to the change of the lecture delivery mode, conference proceeding. From the CV, we learned that anyone from Universitas Terbuka, from OUM, or from other universities who are interested, who have the similarities in interesting topic, I think Ms. Dinithi will be ready to have collaboration. Okay, without further ado, I would like to hand over the mic and also the screen to our moderator to lead our fruitful discussion with the keynote speaker. Ms. Dinithi, the screen and mic is yours. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much, Dr. Rahman, for that for your descriptive introduction on me. Thank you so much again. Good morning, everyone, and Ayubowan from Sri Lanka. Welcome you all to the 5th AAOU Lecture Series 2024, A Roadmap to Successful Publication. So today we focus on qualitative research methods, which is very important to all educators and also for all researchers. I hope today's lecture will enhance your knowledge on qualitative research methods. Well, on to our first keynote speaker. Our first keynote speaker is Professor Gülsün Kurubacak from Anadolu University. Let me briefly introduce about Professor Gülsün Kurubacak. I think you will share the screen. Okay, thank you so much. Professor Gülsün Kurubacak has 40 years of experience in open and distance learning education systems. She is one of the distance education faculty members of the Department of Distance Education, Open Education School at Anadolu University. She is currently serving as a professor at Open Education School, Anadolu University, and her research interests include qualitative research methods, quantitative research methods, and mixed research methods. So, Professor Gülsün, we are cordially invite you to start your speech. I think you can hear me, Professor
Yes.
Gülsün.
I can hear you. Thank you. Thank you.
And you will be given 30 minutes for your presentation. You can
Sure,
start.
thank you. I am very happy to be with you. It is my honor, the part of this excellent team. Hopefully, we are focusing on qualitative research, which it doesn't get enough attention yet, especially the east part of the world. We still think quantitatively, and we think research means quantitative. And let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see? I am skipping this part. Anytime, welcome. You can contact with me. Today, I would like to talk about, yes, qualitative research and what is philosophical foundation and what are the approaches. The most important things, if you focus qualitative research, we have to start change our mind, our beliefs on research. This is the most important key, because when I look at the works, papers, they say this is qualitative research. When I read it, no, it is not qualitative. It looks qualitative, but it's designed by a quantitative mind. So it is the most important thing. We have to understand what should we do when we are conducting any qualitative research. This is my agenda. Don't scare. I give a brief information of each of them because each parts are, important. Just get attention, underline the topics, okay? Okay. Research is research. It doesn't matter, qualitative, quantitative, or mixed. But there is always a research paradigm. This research paradigm includes a logic, ethics and morality background, and aesthetics. The research must be aesthetic. This part we usually get rid of it. Okay, and its ontology, epistemology, and methodology is very important. So, see, methodology is a part of a research, not all of the research progress. If you are talking about writing or conducting a research and writing a report based on your research, you have to look at your ontology, epistemology, and methodology all together at the same time. So what we are doing, we are interrupting, understanding, explaining what we would like to learn, what we would like to look at. So it is very important, all type of research. So we are creating a thinking system. So it must be any scientific research, any scientific thoughts, it must include a process, it must be systematic process, it must be a critical systematic process, and it must have an evaluation part. So if you look at that kind of explanation, scientific research doesn't mean quantitative or qualitative or mixed one by itself. This is kind of wrong understanding. And when I asked my student what is research, most of the time they are defining quantitative research methods. It is limited, not wrong, but it is a limited definition. So if you look at the research, we have to focus on their nature, their background. There's a big paradigm shifts right now. We are moving positivism to phenological one. Positivism, especially the base for natural and science and quantitative research, is the research methods of this type of science. So we adapt some backgrounds for our social sciences, especially liberal arts, and you name it. And we try to do quantitative research. Yes, it is nice. When we are doing quantitative research, we sort, categorize, compare, or rate our data we collected. But if you look at the qualitative research, we don't care about how we sort the data, how we categorize the data, how we compress the data, how we raise the data. We look at the in-depth, culturally and individually, in the context. So we try to understand and explain. So qualitative research, very different mentality from the quantitative one. We have to understand why I am telling this one. When I read any qualitative research, sometimes they said, okay, we count frequency. If you are counting frequency in qualitative research, this is not a qualitative research. It is a quantitative one. In qualitative one, we shouldn't count anything. We should look at the location, culture, person, and explain it in-depthly, not surfacely. And phenomenology is another most difficult term because it is a kind of an umbrella term. Phenology is a philosophical, understanding, and it is the background of qualitative research. And also, phenomenology is one of the model for qualitative research, micro and micro level understanding we have to understand. Okay, if you look at that, what is the difference? We have to understand. Quantitative research, it says there is reality. And this reality doesn't change anytime, anywhere, any person. Reality, it means same for everyone. But when you look at the qualitative one, we says, yes, there is reality, but it is contextual. And it means reality based on social, historical, individual one. This is why some of the researchers says qualitative research is subjective. It is not subjective. We talk the event based on its context. And qualitative research also focus on facts, but qualitative one focus on phenomenon. Phenomenon not like the famous person. What is the difference? Let's say we are on the street and we observe a traffic accident. Happening a traffic accident is a fact. Yes, anyone in this street, if observe this car accident, it was happen. But what is the phenomenology? If you go and ask each person, how how has it been happen? And each person has different understanding and story about this car accident. This is phenomenology. It doesn't mean each person has different idea, different story. It doesn't mean they are wrong, because we don't have in qualitative research only one answer. We are looking at the person, we are looking at the culture, we are looking at the context. And also, quantitative research tries to identify, explain, and guess. We just, in qualitative research, explain, understand. We never guess. We try to understand. And if we look at the quantitative research, positivism and modernism are the base, and it uses a realistic approach. And if you look at the qualitative research, it is postmodernist idea and interpretive and cultural approach it uses, and post-constructivism. And if you look at the mixed research, it is in the middle, both quantitative research and qualitative research, because sometimes your research question, the important one, and when you're asking your research question, at the same time, you are choosing your methodology. So sometimes we have to use both approach. So basically science, as you know, focus on human problems. And what is qualitative one? Again, we focus on the individuals, how they express themselves, how they feel, how they understand the world, how they understand their culture. And also, if you look at the culture, what are the cultural meanings of the things, and how they develop cultural knowledge, acceptance, develop, so on. So we should redefine what is subjective and objective, because nowadays still some scientists believe quantitative research is objective, qualitative research is subjective. My friends, my dear friends, if you are focusing on human, and also we are talking about the quantum physics today's, everything is subjective. Being subjective is not bad one. Being subjective is you have different taste about the world. You have different taste about the understanding. The bad things is if you have biases, if you have stereotypes to yourself, to your culture, to others. So we have to define what is subjective and objective again. Okay, if you look at the qualitative data process, a person has two different hats as an individual, as a researcher, as a scientist. Becoming a good qualitative researcher as an individual, as a person, you have to understand what is the meaning of life, what is the philosophy of life, and you have to develop your individual features. You must be intellectual one. It doesn't enough if you read just books or things in your area. You have to read history, you have to understand mathematics, you have to understand logic, you have to look at the economics. You have to add an intellectual creature, and you have to get very high level experience, like attended that kind of conference, different conference, visiting the countries, touching the cultures, touching the people, visiting the historical places, anything. You have to develop yourself continuously, seamlessly. Then, as a researcher, all people look at the same thing, but the researcher understand I have to focus on this issue. There are two things you realize you have to focus on, and love. Without love, you cannot do anything. So doing any research, especially qualitative research, you have to love what you are doing. It is not just process. So you have become a scientist and you can do your research and so define your problem perfectly. And this part, I am sorry. This part, if you are not sensing and perceiving problem, and if you are not internalization of your problem, you just start to select the methods, and usually the young people do that. When I ask, what would you like to study? They said, okay, I do ANOVA, I do, the document analysis. I say, honey, this is not the research, this is the collection techniques. What would you like to do? So they have no answer. It doesn't matter how perfect methodology design, if it doesn't connect it to your problem, and if doesn't answer your problem, it is meaningless. So we have to understand, if you are doing if you would like to make a cake, you have to understand what you have in your refrigerator, how many eggs, lemon or orange or whatever would you like to, and then put the cream on it. But if you select the methodology first, it means you are doing the cream first, then try to put the cake inside this cream, and it doesn't fit. So understand your problem, sense it, and write it down, and then select the perfect methodology for this one. Okay. The research area and participants at qualitative research are very important. Again, most of the time when I read qualitative research, they still using, the terms belongs to quantitative one, like samples, like population, like universe. In qualitative research, we don't believe similarity. We don't believe we have to similar to each other. Each person has her own idea, own personality. So we don't have any universe, any sample, or any population. If you are conducting quantitative research, yes, you have to explain what is your universe. It means what is the collection of your elements, what kind of common characteristics they have, and how you select your sample from this universe. And there are some, the techniques. But in the qualitative research, the terms are research area and participant, not population and research, or the subjects. And for this, when you start your qualitative research, you must first of all identify your potential sites. How can you reach? How can you understand? Let's say I try to do any qualitative research about the Terbuka University. It doesn't work because I haven't been working, or I haven't been a student at Terbuka University. How can I understand what is going on inside, or the process of Terbuka University work? So to identifying your potential sites, you must have experiences with these sites. So you must be very careful. Just you cannot say, okay, I just select. No, you have reasons why you select. And then when you are getting the next step, you have to identify your gatekeeper and your stakeholders, because you always be in contact with your all stakeholders during your conducting your qualitative research, and you must get your permission and ethics. Another part, you cannot do any research without getting any permission from each individual, your participants. In qualitative research, sometimes we go to the classroom or give our research assistants and go to the classroom, let them answer this survey. It doesn't work in the qualitative research. You must be in contact with each site and each your participants. So you have to communicate with your participants, and before communicating with them, you have to identify which kind of participant will help your research. Then you have to understand, and you have to understand you are not apple of this research. You are the kind of slave of this research, and your participants kind of the masters. So you have to be very humble in the qualitative research, and the qualitative research is a journey, because when you conduct any qualitative research, when you finish it, you have never ever been the older part of you. You are a new Gülsün. So you have to in this process, not the outside process. So you have to get contact with your all participants. Many years ago, one of my doctorate students would like to collect data from the very low-level social and economical places of Eskişehir. And he would like to ask what kind of a newspaper they read and why. And he went, I didn't tell him anything. And he is very handsome, like baby face students, and he always wear very fancy suits. Yes, he went there and came to me 1 week later by crying. I say, what's going on? He said, no one wants to talk with me, and they closed the door. I say, okay, did you think why? And he said, I don't know. I said, how you behave, how you wear. Before conducting his research, never ever touch with his participants. And he wear that kind of, the nice suits. It doesn't work. That the people, this area, thought he was a police officer and collecting data, what they are doing, what they were doing. So I let him, please wear, you must wear some things like what they wear, and go to the cafe, the Turkish cafe, man cafe, and start to talk with them and explain yourself. Then they will, and it takes maybe 1 week, 2 weeks. So you can't start your qualitative research suddenly. you have to make connections, and you have to understand their ideas, their culture, their thoughts, and we have to respect no biases, no stereotypes. So there are different sampling strategies you can select, and most of time we use Cretaceous sampling and snowball, as you know, and then we start finding our participants. Yes, networking. We ask this question, okay, if when we start when we conduct any qualitative research, whether our participants give, first of all, there are no correct answers in qualitative research because we are asking their thoughts or we are looking at the cultural background. So, and the second thing, if you can be humble, if you can express yourself perfectly to them, they behave very ethically, and they give what they would like to do, what they feel, so collect the data seamlessly. Careful about that. Okay, the other parts, qualitative data collection and qualitative analysis method. When I again look at the research, these three terms are always confused. They say, okay, this is a qualitative document analysis research. No, honey, document analysis is the type of data collection qualitative research. So if you are defining your research models in qualitative study, you have to choose at least one of these. You can choose more than one in qualitative research. Your study can be both case study and narrative, or both case study and grounded theory. You can use it. And at Delphi is the most important one. Get information from the expert about the going on. Also, Echo Delphi is the technique I and my colleague developed it, so I add this one also. Let's say you choose case and phenomenology, and you can use different data tools. Maybe one, you can document analysis, no, interviews, observations, and then you go to the analyze part. You know, you can use more than one analysis method. So you have to very be careful about when defining your research models, analysis method. And there are several more qualitative data analysis methods, but most important and the most useful ones. Okay. When you analyze your which one you use, but you have to 5 stages. You have to transcribe your data, organize your data, getting familiarity, coding, and teams. This is the main stages. You can do that by manually, or you can use it any software. If you ask me, I prefer to do it manually, because when you do your transcribe, you manually, you can deeply understand your search. Using any software kind of makes your qualitative research quantitative one, but if you have a research, very important, we have to understand and provide our readers, our stakeholders, there are no bias. Everything in your research must be reflexive. It means you have to understand yourself and your participants, your research, and reflect what you collect. Okay, and also you have to communicate with your colleagues, your friends, journal, you know, to understand everything is perfect in your journal. And also, triangulation is the most important tool provide credibility in qualitative research. There are several different types of triangulation like data, expert, theory, method, time, date. You can use at least one of them, but the more you use triangulation method, the more you get credibility in your study. So this is the important. And then you have to write everything. Qualitative research kind of not the linear, it is the kind of, you know, the cyclic one. So you have to also, when you are conducting your data, your research, sometimes based on your participants or research site, you have to redesign your research. So you have to understand it doesn't linear like the quantitative one. Quantitative one, everything is, each stage must be clear. Surprises at any stages. But in qualitative research, there are several, you know, surprises. You have to understand, so you have to develop your intelligence, risk intelligence for your study, and flexible about your study and solve the problem and redesign and keep everything open and transparent. You have to write everything in your research. Even, you know, the two people don't want to continue. Even you have to add a new one. You have to write everything about your research. And also, ethical part is very important. Qualitative research must be anonymous one. When I look at the research sites, some qualitative research, they name the society or they name the association. You cannot do that. You have to first of all get permission. Even get permission, the consideration is not the association. We are looking at the inside documents, so you have to keep it anonymous. The institutions on and also person never ever tell anyone, and you have to store your all document in very safe place. After your study, when you report and publish it, you have to delete all data belongs to your study. No one cannot see, okay? An informed consent must must be signed by yourself and your participant, and your participants anytime, anywhere has right to ask questions about the study and study process, and has right to withdraw from your research without any you know, manipulation. So this is important. So you have to understand dynamic nature of qualitative research, participant relationship, and you have to make excellent connections. Okay. And reporting qualitative data, as you know, three the most important ones. You have to plan, applicate, and terminate it. So writing research methods and sharing with stakeholders are very important as the other ones. Writing research reports depends on your institutes or what kind of journal you are sending. You have to read the journal or institution rules and design your write your research paper based on these rules. But it must be transparent. It must be explain each stage of your qualitative research. So when you are reporting, I told you before, clarity and precision is very important, because you call, even though you have 6 participants. Another things I forgot to tell, in qualitative research, We work with very small groups, like 6 or 10, not more than 10 people usually. Sometimes when I again read some papers, they say I have 50, 100 participants in our qualitative research. Honey, this is not again qualitative research. It is the quantitative research. If you qualitative research, it must be small group. You have to go in depth. You have to collect your data from different sources, from different time, different context. So this is the hard. Even you have 6 participants, sometimes you collect like 500, 600 pages data. So you have to understand, and you have to understand your participants' voice, insights, not yours, and always transparency. And you have to give your study, write your study, report your study in a logical way. Anyone, when read it, can understand your data. Okay. Thank you for listening to me. Any questions, suggestions, and recommendation, welcome. Oops. Okay, I stopped. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Dr. Gülsün Kurubacak, for your informative speech on qualitative research methods. I think everybody can understand that everything is clear, but still, if you have any questions, so you can send those questions through our chat box. I'll show you the regulations. I think the team can show, the slide. If you are having any questions, you can send them to us. The format is like this. Firstly, you should mention your name and then the institution and the country and the intended speaker. I think an example is given below. When you are before the speaker answers the questions will be read in advance by the moderator, by myself, once it is displayed on the screen, and the speaker may answer afterwards. And also I should mention that you can participation. To earn your certificate, you have to fill out the registration form in advance. You have to follow the whole program, and filling out the feedback form. That will be the link of the feedback form will be shared after this program. So I think it is clear now. Thank you so much, Professor Gülsün. And one important thing that I gathered from your speech and keynote speech, so she mentioned that we should love whatever we do, right? We should be passionate about whatever we do. So it's interesting, very important thing, right? So
Without
thank you.
love, anything cannot be succeed in qualitative research, because it is a killing process. As you start to change yourself as well, not just your participants. You have to, fight yourself sometimes, your biases, your stereotypes, you face it in the process. It is a very hard process. So without
exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much again. So we can move on to our next keynote speaker. Let me briefly introduce our second, Dr. Saw Fen from the Wawasan Open University. Saw Fen has earned her Doctor of Philosophy from University Science, Malaysia. And she is currently serving as a senior lecturer and program lead at School of Education, Humanities and Social Sciences at Wawasan Open University. She also is an editorial board member at Asian Journal of Distance Education. And most importantly, she is the silver medalist of Young Innovator Award at the AAOU Annual Conference 2023. So, Dr. Saw, I cordially invite you to speak to deliver your speech, and you will be given 30 minutes for your presentation. Dr. Tan.
Okay, thank you, Dinithi. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, a very good morning. Selamat pagi from Malaysia. I'm from Wawasan Open University, Malaysia. So can you see my screen?
Right, it's okay.
Can you see my slide?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Prof. Gülsün, for the very impressive sharing, and it makes me recall the experience that I had when I collect my qualitative data. Yeah, it is not easy, but it is a very interesting process where we get immerse ourselves into the context, and also we generate very good relationship with our participants. So today I'm going to share with you one of the qualitative data collection methods that I've used before, where we call it photo voice. So what is photo voice? Photo voice is also known as photo elicitation interview. So when we compare photo voice with conventional interview, for conventional interview, we researcher will ask the participants verbally, right? And then participants to reply us or to give us the ideas verbally as well, in oral form, right? And for photo voice, the way of collecting data is a bit different from conventional interview, where we get the participants to take photos to capture their perception or ideas about a phenomenon that we would like to explore. Then we get them to share the photos with us, researchers, and then get them to explain why they take that particular photos and how the photo related to the phenomena. And with that, the photographs taken by the participants are used for them to convey their ideas or convey their perceptions. And it is the photos is also can be used by the researchers to provoke critical dialogue with the participants. So actually, photo voice have been used in many studies to collect data. So the study has been, the participants of the studies that we apply photo voice range, that past studies that use photo voice involve students from different socio-economy level and even literacy level. So let me show you some of the example. So for example, this study, the first one, where they apply photo voice to explore children's perceptions of their aspect of their life world that are important to them. So the participants is actually children with the age of 4 to 6 years old. And then another study used photo voice to explore the college students' experience with distance education during COVID pandemic. And is to use photo voice to explore the mental health experience of adults who are 50 years old and above. So as you can see, photo voice can be used for children to collect perceptions of children as young adult who are 50 years old and above. And photo voice has also been applied to homeless youth and even people who are diagnosed with mental illness. Next, I'm going to walk you through research that I have done before, which I use photo voice to collect qualitative data. So the objective of this research is to explore the characteristic of mathematics lesson valued as effective by primary pupils. So the research design is case study, and we involve two cases. So the two cases are from which involve two teachers in the two different schools, and the teachers select one of their classes in the school. Then we get the teacher to select 6 pupils in that particular class. So the pupils are selected based on their academic performance, with 2 high performing pupils, 2 average performing pupils, and another 2. So we purposely select whether there are differences in their perceptions. So why do I use purpose? So if we use only verbal interview, we might not be able to get very in-depth data from them, right? So we try to use photo voice and see whether we can get deeper data from the students. So let's see. So the methods that we use to collect data are photo voice and also observation. And this is the procedure. So we actually walk through the procedure where we have the social visit with to the school, and then get their permission, and then only we start with the briefing info, an informal interview with pupils, and another 3 cycles. Explain the purpose of pupils, so they are well aware why we are doing this and how we are going to collect the data and what are the expectations from them. I mean, they are expected to take photos during the class, and then after that we pass a camera to each of them. Then we teach them how to use the camera. Then after they are ready, we conducted an informal interview with the 6 participants. I mean, for each case, there are 6 participating pupils. So the informal might not be able to understand effectiveness. What does it mean of effective mathematics lesson to them, right? They might be too young to understand that concept. So we use a metaphor of then you take a medicine, right? If you are not feeling well, you take a medicine. And if the medicine is effective, after you take the medicine, then you feel relief and you do not feel sick anymore, right? So with that, we say that the medicine is effective. Then when we relate to mathematics lesson, so what do you think if you attend a mathematics lesson which is effective? How would it be? So we try to frame the students about the effective mathematics lesson so that they have an idea of what is effective mathematics lesson. And yes, it is very important to build a very good relationship with the pupils when we have the interview with them, so that they have a feeling of safe to talk to us. Then after this visit, we pay another visit and start our study. So we have the teacher to teach the lesson, and before the lesson, each of the 6 participating pupils was handed a camera before they go into the class. Then they sit at their own seats and follow the lesson as usual. Then the teacher start to teach, And during the whole lesson, the students take photos of activities, learning materials, moments, or any episode that they perceive as effective mathematics lesson. Then, during the observed lesson also, as I've mentioned just now, we use observation to collect data for this study as well. So we use 2 video cameras to video record the lesson. So the first video recorder is at the front of the class. And the purpose of this video is to capture the pupils' learning in the class, their response, and also their action in the class. And then another video recorder is at the back of the class. So the purpose of this video is to focus on the teacher and to record the teacher's teaching, the question raised by the teachers, and also the materials used by the teachers. So immediately after the lesson end, we collected all the 6 cameras and we transfer the photos to laptop and we project it on the wall. And we have focus group interview with the 6 participating pupils. So we have mentioned to them also there is no right or wrong answer. Just tell us what you feel about the lesson. And then the interview, also the same, was video recorded. So when we first started the interview, we asked a general question: how was the lesson? This question was to elicit the overall perceptions of the pupils regarding the lesson that they have just experienced. And from there, we try to elicit perceptions of that from them on which part of the lesson are effective and which part are not effective. Next, we project the photos one by one, and we get the pupils to explain why they take that particular picture and how the particular picture are related to effective mathematics lesson. And we also ask further questions to get them to further elaborate their ideas. And when we come across photos or episodes that have been taken by many students and not taken by 1 or 2 particular students, or when there are episodes that photos are only taken by 1 or 2 students and not taken by other students, we will ask some questions like this, like, most of your friends took photos of this particular episode in the lesson, and why didn't you take a photo of this episode? And after we discuss all the photos and before we end the interview, we ask another question of, are there any episodes in the lesson that you found effective but forgot to photograph? So with that, this is one cycle, and we repeat the same process for cycle 2 and cycle 3. So with that, here are the data that we have collected. So we have photos taken by the pupils. So as you can see, here are the number of photographs taken by the pupils. So for each cycle, what we could see is for each individual student, the number of photographs taken by them range from 3 to 24. And then for each session, each interview session, we discussed about 32 to 74 photographs. Other than that, we also have the focus group interview, the 3 focus group interview with the pupils. And then the video of the observed lesson. 3, cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3 that focus on the teachers, and also another 3 that focus on the pupils. And also field note, that we have written after each cycle. So analysis. So for my study, I actually use NVivo to analyze my data, and I followed the steps of transcribe and organize the data because I have many photos, and I actually tag the photos to each of transcribe and also the videos. And then I read through many times to familiarize myself with the data, and I get the themes. So another thing which is important for qualitative research is trustworthiness. So for research, we always talk about reliability and validity. But for qualitative research, we talk about trustworthiness. So for trustworthiness, what are the things that we look at? We look at the credibility, transferability, dependability, and confirmability. So credibility means how truthful is the research findings, reflect the participants' experience. So that means how truthful is my report related to the students' perception in this study. And also transferability, whether because in quantitative research, we look at generalize the ability other to the bigger context. But then for qualitative, we look at whether we can transfer the findings to other contexts which have similar context. And dependability, the stability of the data over time and condition. So if we come back and collect the data again the following year, are we able to get a similar result? Confirmability, whether the findings are shaped by the participants and research context without the researcher bias. So whether I'm able to reduce my researcher's bias when I collect my data and also when I analyze my data. So in order to enhance the trustworthiness of my study, I use triangulation. As you can see just now, I use photo voice and also observation to collect data. And I have my data in the form of videos of observation, the classroom observation, the interview, and also the photos. So I did triangulation when I analyzed my data. And also I did peer debriefing. After I've done with my analysis, I actually pass my analysis with my peer and get my peer to check my analysis and also check my interpretation. And also when I'm writing my paper, I give thick description about the context, I mean about the school, about my participants, and also I give thick description about the data collection procedure and data analysis procedure that I have used. So this is the findings. So although we are doing qualitative, where most of our data are in the form of text or picture, when we write our report, we actually can use diagram or table to visualize, to display our data. It is not necessary that you give full of text in your report, because if you give full of text, it might be very difficult for your reader to digest your findings. So if you can use diagram, then it will be better. It will be easier for your reader to understand your findings. First box is showing the characteristic of mathematics lesson valued as effective by Case A pupils. And the second box is showing the characteristic of mathematics lesson valued as effective by Case B pupils. And this intersection is actually showing the characteristic of mathematics lesson valued as effective by both Case A and Case B pupils. Whereas this part is are the characteristic valued by Case A pupils only and not by Case B pupils. And same goes to this part. So I also categorize my characteristic, or in other terms, my themes into a major themes. For example, this part, teacher explanation, teacher checking answer, and to show the findings in our report. Valued the most by all the pupils. So let me show you. So the number of photos taken by them, I mean the total number taken by the pupils in this area is 45. And it includes a verbal explanation. So as you can see, this is a photo taken by the pupils, and he explained it as teacher is explaining. And another photo is when the teacher was demonstrating how to measure the perimeter by using ruler and measure the length of the side. So this is demonstration. And then this is pupils when showing the working steps. So this is the descriptor. Student photos taken by the pupils. We could see that clear explanation is by the pupils where he gives each and every of the pupils in the class a small blackboard, and he call it as talking board. And he get all the pupils to answer the questions on the talking board, and then he select board and present it at the front of the class, and he check and correct the mistake. And with that, he actually pinpoint the common mistake of the pupils. So these are the description given by the pupils where they say that they value when the teacher are checking the answer and also correcting their mistake. So in qualitative research, we should try to ask further questions to get the students to elaborate so that we can get an in-depth data. So we ask further questions on why you think checking answers and correcting mistakes are important. So they mentioned that with that, they can correct their mistake and they would not repeat the same mistake again. And from the photos taken by the students, we also could see what are the characteristics which are valued by certain academic performing group only. For example, keywords. So these are the keywords shown by a teacher, the Case B teacher, during the class. So what is the purpose of having these keywords? So he teach the pupils to use keywords when they answer the word problem. So for example, for this question, Susan picked 7 apples in the morning and 8 apples in the afternoon. How many apples did she pick all together? So with the keyword all together, the students are expected to use addition to answer the question. So only average and low achiever value the use of keywords to solve the problem. And the high performing pupils do not find it effective. So this might be because they can understand the questions and they don't really need that. Same goes to concrete object. So it is valued by average and low achiever only. And this is how we try to get the students to further elaborate based on the picture. So when we discuss about the picture, we ask questions to get the students to further elaborate. So why the teacher use the milk box? Because the teacher want to show 2D and 3D shapes. And then what is the benefit? So that we can understand how to calculate the perimeter. And also from the photos and the elaboration given by the pupils, we were able to see sometimes even they value the same episode. So the findings also show that the students actually value the involvement of students. For example, pupils and learning. So they have group activity, board work, and hands-on experience for case A, and role play for case B. But sometimes the characteristic that raised by the students might be affected by the incident that happened in the lesson. For example, role play only happened in case B lesson, whereas group activity, board work, and hands-on activity are only happening in case A lesson. So this is one of the limitation of photo voice, where if we solely depend on the photographs taken by the pupils to get their perception, sometimes we may have problem where if the incident do not happen in the context when they were holding the camera, in this context is when they are in the lesson, then they would not be able to tell you using the photos. So what are the benefits of using photo voice to collect qualitative data? So sometimes when we interview students, young children, sometimes it is quite difficult to get in-depth description for them because sometimes they are not close to you and they are shy or they are not confident to express themselves, right? But with the photographs, because the photographs are taken by them, so we could see that when they are talking about the photos that they have taken, they are eager to share and they are eager to speak out during the interview. And they find the activities is very engaging and it is easier for them to express their ideas. And another thing is our study actually involved high, average, and even low achieving students. So sometimes low academic achieving students are not so good in verbal explanation, right? But in our study, we could see that all of them are able to take photos and describe the effective mathematics lesson easily without the need of assistance from us. And these are some issues that arise in photo voice research and that I would like to highlight, and you can think of it if you want to use photo voice in your research. First of all, is about the number of photos taken by the pupils. So initially, when we wanted to use photo voice, we were thinking whether we should limit the number of photos taken by the pupils. Because if we do not limit and they may take too many photos and we might end up need to discuss a lot of the photos. But we also think that if we limit the number of photos and when they take the photos, they will hesitate and then we might lose some of the important data. So in the end, we do not limit the number of photos that they take, but during the interview, we allow them to delete or remove some of the photos that they find not important anymore or not relevant to the topic that they would like to deliver. And also, students may forget to take pictures because sometimes they are paying attention to the lesson and they forgot to take picture. So to overcome this problem, that is why at the end of the interview, we ask them whether there are any other episode that they find important or effective, but they forgot to take the picture. And then the third point is sometimes the pupils do not show us the evidence, the photos, because it doesn't happen when they are holding the camera. And also sometimes some ideas are abstract and it's quite difficult to express solely using photographs. So to solve this problem, maybe we should consider not only depend on the photos taken by them, we also need to like have some verbal interview and get a general idea or some ideas out of the context that we have set for them. Okay, so these are the references that I have used, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tan. Your insightful lecture, it's an insightful lecture actually. So your expertise and clear explanations have provided us with valuable knowledge and understanding. So thank you so much again. Now I think we can move on to our question. I already have received several questions from the audience. Let's try to address them within the limited time period that we have. I think the first one is appeared in the screen. This is from Muhammad, University of Tacubaya, Indonesia. The question is, according to your statement that qualitative data for science tends to focus on human problems, for example, defining the problem, internationalization of problem, sending and perceiving the problem. So, does the result of the qualitative research is influenced by the researcher's problem? The question is for Dr. Gülsün, Professor Gülsün.
Thank you. This is a very good one. Actually, all research, not just the qualitative one, quantitative, mixed or qualitative, whatever you conduct, you have to first sense the problem, then state the problem, then choose your method. If you are choosing your research method first, it is wrong. You cannot design your paper choosing the method first, then state the problem. It means like that I told before, you are doing your cream before, then try to put your cake inside later. This cake must be, we don't know. It is not suitable to the shape, taste. So sense, state, and choose your research method. This is the way. It is not just the qualitative. All research must follow this way.
Okay, thank you, Professor Gülsün. I think we can go to another question. This is for Dr. Tan. This question is sending by Robia from the Indonesian Open University. The question is like this. I'm interested in learning about photo voice as it is a new concept to me. I want to gain a thorough understanding of it so that I can incorporate it into my qualitative thesis. My research will focus on the emotional regulations of mothers and the impact of their knowledge of mindfulness of the emotional regulation of their young children aged 4 to 6 years. I would like to understand how I can use photo voice in this topic, or if there are any other appropriate methods should I consider. This question is for Dr. Tan.
Okay, thank you. So let me look at the research again. So
Yes.
it's focused on emotional regulation of mothers and the impact of their knowledge and mindfulness on the emotional, the slide. Can you show the slide again? Okay, thank you. Emotional regulation of the okay, so if you want to use photo voice, I think if I do not understand wrongly, the purpose of your study is to look at how the mother regulate her own emotion, right? So you can get the mother to take photo of her own life experience. So maybe you can give the mother a camera for 1 or 2 weeks and then get the mother to take photo on how she regulate her own emotion and with that what is the impact. And bear in mind, actually the photos is to help the participants to express themselves. It might not be solely one method that you use in your research. It is just to help the participants to express themselves. So you still need to go back to your research area. I mean your research question. And when you want to approach your participants, let them know what is the purpose of your study and what are you looking for, so that they are well aware of your purpose and they would be able to take photo and show you what they want to tell you. I hope that I have answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. San. Okay, we can move on to the next question. This question is from Biluruz. The question is like this. The question is for Dr. Gülsün. In qualitative research, what is the ideal number of participants? In qualitative research, what is the ideal number of participants? Professor Gülsün?
Excellent question. Actually, we cannot say this is the excellent number. We have to look at some issues, like if you are very new in qualitative research, we prefer choose very few one. And it depends on your question, but it must be no more than 10 or 11 people, because if you are working one person, if you are a team, you can get more participants. But if you are alone by yourself, because you start to collect data from the different data sources, it makes you crazy. Without love, you feel not confident. So time, the people you work with, the number of the people, and your time, your budget, your expertise area, all those issues are very important. So you must select a good number of, not select 50, not select 100. If you are selecting a 50 people, you must be a very big team and 1 year, 2 years study time and budget. So it depends on your study and you, okay?
Right. Thank you, Professor Gülsün. Let's move on to the next question. It is for Dr. Tan. The question is from Safia from AAOU Malaysia University. The question is, can we use photo voice as a tool for qualitative research in psychology to have visual and also narrative data, also to have live experiences? Can we use the photos in our writing paper? How many photos is ideal, and do we need photos from the participants as well? Dr. Tan?
Okay, thank you. You can use photo voice to get the perception regarding the life experience of your participants. So also the same, I would like to say that it depends on the your research objective. And yes, we can use the photos in our paper writing, but do bear in mind about the ethical issues that we need to follow. So before we conduct the lesson, we actually need to get the informed consent from the participants. Okay, and also for the photos taken, we also need to get the consent of the people, whether they are okay for us to share the picture. And when we write paper, we can include the photo in the write-up, but do aware that we should still keep the identity of the subject in the photos confidential. So like you can see the photos that I have used in my presentation just now, I actually hide their face when I'm using the photos. And regarding the number of photos, it depends on your description. We do not look at the number of photos, we only look at how relevant is the photos to your description. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tan. I think, Safia, you could have answer for that. Yeah, so it's clear for you now. The next question is from Divi. She's from Indonesia. The question is for Professor Gülsün and also to Dr. Tan. The question is like that. In qualitative research method, a researcher often interacts intensively with the research participants. Some people say that this procedure may not lead to subjective conclusion. What do you think about it and how to avoid subjective conclusion? Would like to hear from both of your views.
Okay, thank you. Another good one, excellent one. I told you before, the term subjectivity, being subjective, must be redefined in the research area. If you are not touching with your participant, it doesn't mean you are subjective one. In qualitative research, I can tell scientific lies easily. It depends on ethical part. So this is the one story. Another story, first of all, as a researcher, you have to develop yourself seamlessly, intellectually. You have to develop your risk intelligence. You have to develop your intellectual part of your scientist part, like you have to read tons of books, articles from different areas. You have to touch with different cultures. When you start to be in different societies, in different times, different types of connections, you start to lose your biases and your stereotypes, and you are becoming a world person. Without doing that, even mixed, even qualitative, in quantitative, you are always the subjective one. So first of all, develop yourself and be transparent, write everything, and make your connection, so you learn how to manage your emotions. It is not subjective, it is being personal. This is my word. If you or another one conduct this research in qualitative one, find different results. This is not wrong. This is the taste of our lives. So how we look at that. Thank you.
Okay, we would like to hear from Dr. Tan as well.
Okay, so I agree with Prof. Gülsün that we should develop ourselves and do a lot of reading, and also do a lot of reading in the your research area. I mean the literature review, so that you can see what are the data that have found in that particular area. And another thing that you could do is writing reflective journal, like the one mentioned by Prof. Gülsün just now. So you reflect about your own background and also your culture that could affect your interpretation of your study. And also another way that you can reduce the subjectivity of your conclusion is to use the peer debriefing, like what I have used just now, where I get a peer to check my interpretation, my data analysis. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yes, the next question, it is from Hashmi. Again, the question is for the both speakers, Dr. Tan and Professor Gülsün. The question is, in statistics, data is either quantitative or qualitative type, and every variable can measure or express with any unit or scale is considered as quantitative variable, and all other variables considered as qualitative variables. So, if a research consisting only those type of variables, qualitative then with a healthy sample size, and the data was collecting through questionnaire, is it considered as qualitative research or not? I think the question is clear. It is anyway appeared in the screen. Firstly, I will ask from Professor Gülsün.
I am sorry. I am just excited. This is another excellent one. In qualitative research, we don't use terminology variables because we don't believe variables. Everything is changed because everything depends on the context first. And if you are talking about questionnaire, if this questionnaire not open-ended, just, the kind of survey, it is a quantitative one because you are, scaling, comparing, and doing that kind of stuff. If your questionnaire having semi or full open-ended questions, yes, but if that kind of questionnaire you cannot ask 50 questions, you kill your participants. The most you have 5 or 6 questions because you are going to in-depth many times, several times, not just one interview, just one contact. You have to do it many times, several times. So your questionnaire must include 4 or 5, my favorite. And healthy sample size, again, how you define your sample, as the doctor says, Saw Fen, and also how you define, what would you like to learn? What is your curiosity? Depends on that, your time, your budget, your personality, your team, everything is included. You cannot say, okay, I am doing, must be healthy sample size 100. It doesn't mean 100 people participate in the research. It is a good research. It is a quality research. No, even one participant, you conduct perfect qualitative research if you follow the rules, ethical rules, so, the scientific rules. You can do that, up to you, your personality and professionality. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, if you would like to use questionnaire, then you need to have open-ended questions where your participants is able to elaborate instead of closed-ended question like yes or no. Yeah, and when you want to collect data, do bear in mind that for qualitative research, we try to get the answer from the participants. I mean, we look at how in-depth is the data that we can get, and also whether we can reach the point of saturation. So saturation is also another important issue in qualitative research. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Hashmi. I think you have received an answer from the both speakers. Let's move on to the next question. This is from Rehal. The question is for Professor Gülsün. What is your opinion about the use of checklists for COREQ? What is your opinion about the use of checklists like COREQ?
It depends on your research again. If it makes your research easy to collect the data, easy to understand, interrupt your data, yes, you can use it, but it doesn't must. You know, it depends on your research, and if you use how to use it, yes. If you don't have no idea, or if you are very, unsimilar that kind of stuff, please get help from the experts. Yes, it helps, but it is not necessary all the time. Sometimes you can create your checklist also.
Okay, thank you. The next question is from Ali from GIFT University, Pakistan. The question is for Dr. Tan again. Can we apply photo voice to linguistic research? Examples would be appreciated.
As I've mentioned just now, whether to use photo voice is still depending on the purpose of your study. So I cannot really tell you whether you can use it or not, but it is still depending on the purpose of your study. So regarding the example, maybe you can refer back to the example that I've shown just now. I hope that it's helpful to you.
Okay, there are so many questions related to photo voice because it's a new concept to everyone. Yeah. The next question is from Bobby. Bobby is from Indonesia. The question is for Professor Gülsün. Professor Gülsün, love your explanation. She had thanked as well. I wonder what is the weakness of using qualitative research method, and what ethical consideration do I really need to put attention to when I do qualitative literature review on my academic writing?
Another excellent one. Generally, the macro perception, same thing. The other stuff, other research methods have kind of, weakness. Yes, qualitative one has one. Like, if you are not considering ethical parts, if you are not doing your research transparent, as Saw Fen told, if you are not taking your researcher notes, and if you are not observed perfectly, if you are not collecting data from the different sources, from the different time, yes, sometimes I read that kind of paper. Okay, I have 30 students, good, and I put them in the same class, and I ask 2 questions to each student. This is the qualitative research. I said, honey, this is even not research. If you are putting your all participant in the same room and asking the same questions in the front of them, it doesn't research. So it doesn't mean if, qualitative research sometimes the researcher accepts no statistics, no mathematics. It is the easy one. No, it is not the easy one. Actually, it is the hardest one if you follow the rules. You have to follow the rules. Otherwise, yes, it is subjective. It is not research. It is not tell us. It doesn't tell us anything. If you do qualitative literature review, you have to go to the ethical and well-known research places, well-known data places, like from the data from your universities, other universities, well-known, like Scopus, the other stuff. There are several. I don't want to give the name, the site area, but some indexes are very unethical parts. So use the Scopus one, Web of Science one, and ask your librarian which one is the best, and ask your experts, ask your friends, colleagues, and check the different paper, not just one. If I wrote a paper and read it, yes, maybe the excellent one. No, go and read the others ones. What I said, even I am an expert in the area, but I can't tell lie. I am a human, so be open-minded and ask critical questions to what you are reading and what you would like to get it. Okay, just it takes time. Then you get understand it is a good or not good one. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Gülsün. I think according to the time limitation, we can have only one question. Yes, this is from Yazin. Yazin is a student of GC, Pakistan. The question is for Dr. Tan. How can we apply the theory of photo voice? Again, a question about photo voice. How can we apply the theory of photo voice in our research?
I think many of them are interested to know how to apply photo voice in the research. So whether you want to use photo voice in your research is still depending on the purpose of your study. Yeah. So most of the time we use photo voice because we want to get their perceptions, and photo voice is to help the participants to express themselves and also to deliver the idea. So with that in mind, I hope that you can look back the research objective, I mean your own research objective, and see whether it is applicable to your to your research. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, that's the end of all questions because we have to be punctual. Right. So again, I would like to thank the both speakers, Dr. Professor Gülsün Kurubacak from the Anadolu University and Dr. Saw Fen from Wawasan Open University for your insightful lectures today. And also I would like to thank the AAOU team for your continuous assistance and guidance to make this event successful. Not only that, I would like to thank our audience, the participants. They participated actively throughout the session. So thank you so much again. Now I would like to hand over the session to the host. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Dinithi. And then also I thank you so much to our speakers, Professor Dr. Gülsün and also Dr. Fen, and also our president of the AAOU. Just for your information that we have so many questions unanswered for the participants. Please go to the UTTV. You can rewatch our program. And for you, for your questions who have not been answered, please type it on the comments, and then we would like to invite our speakers to visit the link, the UTTV, and then provide answers. So it is a very excellent and fruitful discussion today, and we gain a lot of new ideas. And we know that from the chat, I see that some participants are students of master and a doctoral degree who are currently writing the either proposal or the research report. And then next, I would like to present the certificate. The first one is to the first speaker, Professor Dr. Gülsün. This is our certificate from the AAOU. And then once again, I would like to thank you for your insightful presentation. And then I would like to say Teşekkür ederim.
Thank you.
The second one, I would like to present the certificate to the second keynote speaker, Dr. Saw Fen. Terima kasih. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. And for me, what you presented just now is a new thing. And then also from the questions, your presentations trigger and inspire the presenters.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
And
much.
the last one, I would like to present the certificate to our moderator today, Ms. Dinithi Uthpala Ranasinghe, MA. Thank you very much for leading and managing this excellent program.
Thank you so much,
And,
Dr. Rahman and the team.
Okay. If you need a printed one, we hopefully that we can meet next 2 months or 3 months during the AAOU conference in AAOU in Allama Iqbal Open University. Please do come to the conference. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned just now, that we are AAOU is organizing the next conference. The host will be the Allama Iqbal Open University. And then for you who have not been able to submit the paper or the abstract, I'm sure that if you are really want to attend, please contact us and then send us your abstract and also your full paper. We will try to help you to contact the organizer to review the abstract and then the full paper. Hopefully, the more the merrier. There will be more scholars coming to the conference. We will have more fruitful in-person discussion. And also, I would like also to invite all participants and also the speakers to submit your article to the AAOU journal. The AAOU journal is now indexed in Scopus. Once again, we are waiting for your article. Okay, and then the next one, I would like to remind the participants who are wishing to have the certificate, as we read from the chat, some attendees are asking about the certificate. This is the certificate for you. You have to complete the certificate within 15 minutes. Before we end this program, once again, I would like to thank the president of the AAOU, Professor Rajat Darajat Embus, PhD, our speakers, our excellent speaker, Professor Dr. Gülsün, Dr. Tan, and also the moderator from OUSL. Hopefully, one day we can meet in OUSL. Once again, thank you very much. See you in the next AAOU webinar series next month. Thank you and best regards from Universitas Terbuka from Jakarta.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Alhamdulillah.